I remember the first time Maya said, "I love you." It was raining. Not the dramatic movie kind of rain, just soft drizzle tapping against the window, as if the sky wasn't crying, just quietly mourning. We were curled up on the couch in my apartment. I had just made her ginger tea because her throat hurt from too much singing the night before. She had this dream of becoming a musician, something about stages and spotlights, songs that make strangers feel known. I didn't really understand music the way she did, but I understood her, or at least I thought I did. She looked at me with tired eyes, a blanket wrapped around her shoulders, and whispered, "I love you, Ayan." I smiled, held her hand, and said it back. If only I had known what it really meant. Maya was like fire wrapped in silk, soft, beautiful, dangerous. The kind of person who could light up a room just by walking into it. But if you got too close, you could burn without realizing it. We met during college. She was studying music. I was in literature. She liked to talk in metaphors and sing in between sentences. I liked to write poems I never shared with anyone. We weren't an obvious match, but sometimes love doesn't ask for logic. For 2 years, we built something I thought was real. Late-night phone calls, picnics with no food, just conversations. Her head on my shoulder during long bus rides, my jacket around her when it got cold. Our names carved into a tree by the lake. Little things that feel like forever when you're in love. But forever can be a fragile illusion. The first crack appeared when I noticed how often she talked about Rahil. "He understands my music so well," she'd say. Rahil said this song reminded him of me. Rahil thinks I should try a solo performance. Rahil was her bandmate, a guitarist with messy hair, lazy confidence, and eyes that made girls rethink their relationships. I wasn't jealous at first. I trusted Maya. I believed in her words, in her "I love you." But love doesn't survive in silence. And slowly, her silence started to grow. It started small. She became distant, missed our calls, forgot small plans, cancelled dates with a vague "rehearsal ran late." I tried to ignore it. We all get busy. Relationships need patience. But patience is hard when you feel like you're the only one waiting. Then came the night I'll never forget. We were at her apartment, watching an old movie we both loved. I was telling her about a new job offer in another city, a fresh start, better pay, a future for us. I looked at her and said, "Come with me, Maya, start a life together." She smiled, and then she said, "Let me think about it." Not yes, not no, just a pause long enough to break something inside me. The next week, she didn't call, not once. By the 6th day, I was drowning in doubt. On the 7th, I drove to her place. She wasn't home, but her door was slightly open. Inside, I heard music, and then laughter, hers, followed by his, Rahil's voice. I walked in. They didn't see me at first. She was sitting on the floor, laughing as he played guitar. Her head leaned on his shoulder. Their hands were too close, and then she kissed him. It was soft, like she'd done it before. Time froze. Then she saw me. "Ayan," she said, standing up. But I was already walking out. I didn't sleep that night, or the next. She came to my place 3 days later, cried at the door, said she made a mistake, that it didn't mean anything. "I love you, Ayan," she said, tears streaming down her cheeks. The same words, "I love you." But now they felt like poison wrapped in perfume. "You said that while you were loving someone else," I said quietly. She looked down. "I didn't mean to. It just happened. I was confused. Confusion doesn't lead to kisses, I replied. It leads to questions. You never asked any. We sat in silence. She reached for my hand. I pulled away. I still love you, she said. And the worst part, weeks passed. She kept trying. Messages, calls, apologies in long texts at 2 a.m. I didn't block her, but I didn't answer either. Some wounds need silence to heal. I found out later she and Raheel had started dating. It crushed me, not because she moved on, but because maybe she had already moved on long before I knew. I spent nights wondering if the moments she shared with me were real or borrowed. Was I just a safe place while she waited for a spark? Or worse? Was I a lie she told herself to avoid the truth? Months later, I ran into her at a cafe. She looked thinner, tired, sad even. We talked. Raheel had left her, said he didn't want anything serious. She laughed bitterly. I guess I lost both of you. I didn't respond. What we had, she said, was the most real thing in my life. I wanted to believe her, but real love doesn't walk away so easily. Now it's been a year. I've moved to another city, got the job, started over. Sometimes I see her in dreams, sometimes in songs, sometimes just in the way certain words feel on paper. Love doesn't die quickly, but it fades. She once said, "I love you," while loving someone else. And that sentence became the longest heartbreak of my life. Epilogue. 1 year later, I'm sitting by the same lake where we carved our names. The tree is still there, but time has softened the lines. I trace the faded initials, not with pain, but with a kind of gratitude. Because loving her taught me what I deserve, and what I don't. As I leave, I whisper to the wind, I loved you too, even when you didn't. And then I walk away, this time for good.